All right. All right. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Creator, for this opportunity to take a little time out and to sow to the Spirit. Thank you, brethren, joining me, Elijah, Mahalia, and anyone else watching. Thank you for joining me, my videos, where I love to redeem the time, man. And I love to try to say something to you, brethren, anyone who is listening, to speak our own language. Hey, Elizabeth, good to see you. To speak our own language, we are so outnumbered, and I just give thanks to the Creator that he seems to have put it on my spirit to just get on here. I'm not the best speaker. I don't know everything. I'm just a young brother in the faith, just learning about the OAHSPE and what it's all about. And I've been probably like you, brethren, most of my life. Just there was this little, spiritual void that I tried to fill that I could never fill it. Looking here, looking there, and getting deceived and not knowing that was the Creator saying He testing you. The world is full of tests, man. It's full of testing, and I have to appreciate that about the Creator because, man, I'm telling you, when you think of it, it's a serious deal. The testing that we have gone through to get to this point. There was I had a thought today. I was thinking, somebody caught my eye today. I was thinking about some guy. He's a pro athlete, and I was online and it came up, and I wanted to dig into what he was all about a little bit. And he had to, make a long story short, that I want to share with y'all. He had to work for it, man. Just like all them guys that get to that level, and they only show you the guys who made it. Those are the guys you see on TV. You know what I mean? Are they're on stage, they're in front of you. You know what I mean? They didn't just walk on to those, they had to work for it, man, and spiritually, it's the same thing. Now, it's kind of harsh to say you got to work for it. I don't mean it to sound harsh, but I'm telling you the truth, man, and if you think of it, say like you're in a relationship, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but you want a spouse who know how to work at it. I mean, you couples, you brethren who are married and you got a spouse and you got children, man, my hat is off to you. I mean, for real, man. Hey, Dave. All right, man. Good to see you, brother. At 5:30, I'm going to do the soul affirmation. 5:30, I'm going to do the soul affirmation. And then I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday. And then I'm going to go into the title of the video at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to kind of squeeze them all in there so that we can get a triple benefit. But I appreciate, man, I mean, for real, the older I get, I look at you couples. I look at you married people. I look at you parents. I look back at my parents, man, and I just shake my head the way the strength that it took at the period that, I mean, my family in particular, my dad, my mom, and how, big family of five all together. Well, my parents, that's two, and then my brothers and sisters, that's four altogether. That's six. And growing up at a period of time like we did, where was different world sociologically back then, and just looking back at what they had to go through, the patience it takes, man, and just the economical factor in raising and bearing children, and looking back, man, I just say, man, you have so much respect for your parents, for people who are in relationships who make it, they stand the test of time. You have to really respect that, man. You got to appreciate it. And everybody wants somebody. You want a spouse who, they willing to work at it. As you get older, especially, you realize, you know what I mean? What I'm getting at, it's the same way with the creator, you know, and people reap the fruits a lot later in life. I want to put that verse up, man. Here's my mom's food ministry where I can be contacted. Targeting orphans and disabled and elderly brethren. I can be contacted for support and for just if there is a need out there, I certainly can be contacted. Here's my room on Facebook. Here's a verse that it's stuck in my mind. I've been talking about this a lot lately. And I was thinking about you, Mahal. You look what I found. Look what I found. Let me share the screen real quick. How you said you wanted to sow in the second resurrection. And I said, I think that's in the OAHSPE somewhere. And then I found it. Check this out. It talks about knitting and sewing. It says at 6 years of age. So it's talking about when we cross over, when we go into the spirit, if I'm not mistaken. It said among the first lessons of labor were those in gardens, teaching them how to plant, teaching them how to, and this sounds like the first resurrection to me. And then we go on to the second resurrection. I think I remember Dave saying that we do spend a little time in the first resurrection. And then, but not long, and then we go into the second resurrection. This sounds like first resurrection to me. But it talks about the first lessons, labor in the gardens, teaching them how to plant. Now, if I went up, it's going to be talking about, if I went up, I have to think, let me see. See, this is where I start getting messed up, Okay, so we see here, these little ones, okay. It's talking about the little ones, okay. So let's just leave it at that. And then let's go down. It says that among their first lessons of labor were those in gardens, teaching them how to plant, teaching them names of seeds, flowers, plants, trees, et cetera, et cetera. And then you go down, it says that knitting, sewing, see? And then there's another verse to talk about sewing too. It says, at an early age, you shall teach them the art of sewing. See? Because Mahalia mentioned the other day, she said she wanted to be doing sewing in the second resurrection, And I thought it was interesting. And you would think, that, I mean, the fact that the creator mentions it, I thought was pretty interesting. Now, here's a verse that I want to feature for right now. This verse right here. Let me share the screen there. Won't let me share it. And I just, from, I feel like I perceive that it's on me to talk a lot about the soul and to talk about what the creator says about what it is all about for us while we're in this reality. Now, here's that verse that I was bringing up yesterday. I want to bring it up again today and really let us see what the, we're here, we're in this reality. We got a billion choices we can make as to which way we want to go. The creator said, you really got two choices. You can serve yourself or you can serve me. And here's this verse where I just love to be able to share. This is what our marching orders are. This is what our marching orders are. Go make yourself. See, go make yourself. It's a terrible thing to waste time, I believe, man. When you know these things. I mean, I know that life, it may seem long and tedious and it's boring a lot of times, and there ain't no, it's not a lot of activity or action, or you know what I mean, it's entertainment, and it wears a lot of people out, I believe. And people want constant excitement and some type of events, but it take time, man. It take time and it take work. And we see the people who are willing to do it in the carnal and the fruits that they reap. Go make yourself. Now, people work a lot longer in life for a lot less, don't they? They work 30, 40 years, you know what I mean? So the creator's not asking anything too difficult. We live in a world where people put more into the temporal, into the vanity, into vainglory than they do for what lasts forever. We're sitting here, the creator's saying, go make yourself. When you keep, now, I don't know of anybody that's not interested in setting themselves up for the highest benefit. Now, I don't want to sound vulgar, but at the end of the day, we are here because we realize that we are in a temporary situation. At the end of the day, we in a temporary situation. Now, I was looking at that sports guy, right? I was looking at that sports guy, and it was talking about his life, and what he had to go through. And people are always amazed, at what these people go through, what these people had to go through in order to make it. Dave, he was telling us the other day about Yatante and the spirits there, and they got all kinds of questions about earth life, because these are spirits who are never, they don't have corporeal experience. And Yatante, where Dave, he goes there all the time, subjective kingdom in the atmosphere, from what I can understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. But they got questions. They want to know, how was it? Or how is it? What do you do? And same way, really, in this reality, people who they're able to make it, everybody, people, because see, that's rare air. See, that is very, there's not too many, there's not, enough room at the top for everybody. You know what I mean? In the sense that the creator, he calls us to walk up that mountain. He called Faithus to walk that mountain, man. Walk it. And in your spirit that when the creator put that challenge in front of you to walk up that mountain, you know that the creator can make it good. You brother know he can make it good, man. That when he tells you that the creator, he can he can recompense you. We all, you brethren, you know that in your heart, man. You know it in your heart. Yourself I gave to yourself. Even at zero of your entity. See, it's all up to us, man. We got the opportunity. You got to think about that, man. You telling me go make myself? Are you saying that to me? you know, you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I mean, I'm saying what, my mind is. What you mean it's up to me? Well, okay. I ain't gonna waste one single second. I feel you. I know I perceive you, brother, in the same way too. People, people are important to themselves. And it's a shame that the world, that this knowledge is, people, they go for the short money. There was a famous movie called On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. It was a famous line in the movie where he played a boxer and he had a corrupt manager. And he said, Charlie, I could have been champion. But you went for the short money. You only gave me the short money, meaning he took advantage of me, and the world say the same thing. The world goes for the short money. They go for the short money, man, vainglory, temporary, whatever you want to, Creator, he says, go make yourself, man. Go make yourself. This is the opportunity you got, I love what he said about bliss. Y'all remember that verse where he talked about the weary heart? He talked about the weary heart, man. He said the weary heart, he comes to the end of himself. He crosses over, and he crosses over into a world of, I'd rather the verse would say it about itself. I'd rather the verse say it itself. He said, he talked about the weary soul, man. And I can't help but think that's talking about Faithist. See, the Creator, he put like little crumbs in the OAHSPE, to help you to endure your situation, our situation. Because we need that type of encouragement, man. We need that type of encouragement. And that's why I brought out like the famous people. If they, they put in work, man, In the beginning, it's without fanfare. Hey, Bronze Yogi. Ain't seen you in a while. Good to see you. What does Namas mean? Hello? How you doing? Namas, what does that mean? So let me find that verse, man. Very, very, very comforting verse, man, where the Creator, he says, let me see. Now, see, you get started doing these word studies again. I'm not good at it because I just see these verses, man, and oh, it means it's a greeting. Oh, okay. Namas then, brother. It's good to see you, man. I still love that rap video you did, man. That was cool. It was real smooth. I I really liked it, man. Have y'all seen that rap video that Yogi did? It was pretty smooth, man. Okay. Anyway, see, you start doing these word studies. Look at this. It say, if a man desires that, this ain't the verse I was looking for. It's hard for me to do these studies because I start eating, I put down the fork. I started eating with both hands, my fingers, Look at this. that all men must choose to serve one or the other and at once engage in the battle. Okay, so I imagine that calls you, to go higher, get the context. It says, if a man desires everlasting life and bliss in heaven, then he must battle his earthly parts with great vigor. Wait a minute. What is this saying? It's talking about the ascetics. The footnote is spiritual teaching, rigors, austerities of those who renounce corporal comforts and other self-denials for the sake of supposed spiritual attainment. Okay, now, sometimes you got to be careful too, because when you point out verses, if you don't get the context, you could misrepresent it. We see Dave says, Namaste. Namaste. Oh, it's a Hindu greeting. Namaste. Thanks, Dave. And it says, he shall torture his flesh. Now, okay, see, this is where you got to be careful, okay, because it says, if a man desires everlasting life, so, because this is not right. I mean, we're not called to do this. And that's where you got to get the context. You got to be careful to get the context. And I think this is that account where somebody, a king, was talking to some, I don't know. The creator's not asking us to do this. So this is where you got to go into the context of it. I don't have time right now, but this part I do agree with, where we have to deal with rigor with our corporal parts. I think it does take work, man. Oh, it's almost time for the soul affirmation. Let me see if I can find that verse on bliss real quick. It talks about the person who, man, he lived a hard, sorrowful life, and been beaten up pretty good. And Creator says, hey, man, you know what? He says, when you make it through all that, there it is right there. Thank you. Found it just in time. Look what the Creator say, for you brethren who are suffering and you weary hearted. Look what the Creator say. He say, to the long suffering and to the weary who are upright of heart, man. He said, death is a doorway to a world of bliss, rest, and love. If that don't knock you out, man, you just, you know what I mean? You got to see, you keep that in your soul, keep it in it keeps you running, man. It keep you running, it keep you going. You tuck these verses away in your heart. It's a lonely road we on, man. We can't get together, and meet every Wednesday, go to the building, see each other's faces, and gain strength that way. The Creator's got us on a serious deal. He telling us to go to work, man. Go make yourself. Now, see, it's time for the soul affirmation. This part of us making ourselves. This is part of us making ourselves, man. This is part of us making ourselves. So it's time for the soul affirmation. Soul affirmation. So let's do the soul affirmation, where we're reading in Radiance anthology, and it was talking about the soul, man. The importance of confirming the soul, the importance of elevating our soul, recognizing the soul, practicing confirming the soul, because the Creator said this is how you're going to elevate. This is how you're going to grow. It is very unnoticeable growth. It's just like you were a child and then you looked up and you were a teenager. It's the same thing. Same thing, man. You just don't see it, but it's happening. And for our soul, the Creator, He gives us to say, He gives us this to say through Radiance Anthology. So now it's a part of my channel now. Good brother said do it before and after. So let's go ahead. Let's affirm our soul, man. Let's affirm it. I'll show you again in Radiance Anthology what I'm talking about, because it's now part of the program. It's important to know why we're doing stuff like this. So let's say this part together. We're going to all say this part together here. It's the soul. We're going to affirm our souls, man. We're going to tell ourselves. We're going to make ourselves. And as often as Creator give me this channel to do, I'm going to always do this, okay? Just to let you know. So we're going to say this together, all of us, okay? 3 times, okay? 3 times on 3, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am life because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection because my true I, the real self, is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am wisdom of the all mind because my soul is an intelligent organism vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness. Say it again. 1, 2, 3. I am life because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection because my true I, the real self, is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am the wisdom of the all mind because my soul is an intelligent organism vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness. One more time. I am life because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection because my true I, the real self, is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am wisdom of the all mind because my soul is an intelligent organism, vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness. All right. Now let me go ahead and show why. Let me do a quick recap as fast as I can as to why we are saying that now. Why I am having that as part of my videos. And the inspiration comes from this right here. The inspiration for why I'm doing what I'm doing right now comes for I don't want to say by mistake. I came across this. It certainly was the will of the Creator. Certainly was the will of the Creator. And it just makes you glorify the Creator, how He works. You think that you just come across something incidentally, by mistake, coincidentally. And then you look back, that was the Creator talking to you. He was talking to you. And so here's where I got that from. Now, actually, there's another part. There's a first part. There's a first part that I didn't. Well, maybe I should bring that first part out. Let me do that real quick. The first part. Bring out the first part. Show you the first part. This was the first part. If it'll let me bring it up. The first part. Okay, this was a reading that I was going to do. So let me bring it up on the screen so I can just go through it like really fast. Try to go through it like real fast. Just as a quick reminder of why it's important for us to affirm the soul. Now, here's the first part. It's called 3 Degrees of Consciousness, and it says your mental, spiritual nature consists of 3 degrees. And then if you want, you can stop the video. You can read it for yourself so you can catch up. Now, I'm jumping down. It says, recognize the divine intelligence of your soul. See? It says the intuition of your soul will reveal to your conscious mind the eternal principles of the divine nature. That's just what we got finished reading. It says the intuition. See, we're going to keep reading it, okay? And then we're going to let our conscious mind reveal to us the eternal principles. See, that's why every time now on my video, I'm going to do the soul affirmations. Remember, I was sharing how this brother, his name is Billy Carson, real famous and online, and he speaks really esoterically, and he has a great gift of spiritual things. Now, I don't know if he knows about the OAHSPE, but he said that if you mention something 21 times in a row every day, you'll change your DNA. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't really know, but I believe it. I believe that's why the Creator, he be telling us to repeat. See, we're supposed to engage in something called mental affirmation, where you speak it, you repeat it, you make it part of your routine. And the Creator says that's how you grow in your, see, he works through that. He makes yourself. See, you remember the verse where he said, I do the labor. That's where you get my attention. The Creator say, here, you just do this. All right. You just do this. Now I'm going to do the labor. All right. You're a little child. You decide what you want. And then I am going to do the labor. You just decide. So he's telling us to do this. Affirm your soul. Now, if you want, you can read this. I can't go into it. I'm hoping that if you want, you can stop the video. Now, this was the first part. And then we got into the second part. I'm ready to bring up the second part real quick, too. And I can't go into it because I want to go to my room and talk about the verses, some of the verses that I've uploaded. So I got to squeeze all this in to a short period of time. Now, here's the second part. Just read it. Just stop the video and read it. Now, you go down here, and it talks about suggestion persistently applied. See, that's why we do the soul affirmations. And it don't stop there. We can do other soul affirmations. You can go and say, I am growing. Hey, Nazarene. All right, brother. Shalom. Shalom, brother. Good to see you. We can do other suggestions. And look here. Asenath. Man, oh man, this is really a good day now. We got a full house. Yeah, I imagine that with everything, we got to be careful of everything, but take it by faith that if the Creator, if he's telling us to use, like, even when you read the OAHSPE, you know what I mean? You see like rites and ceremonies, they say like, repeat after me, and then you say this and you say that. Let me see. Asenath says he used to be a warlock, said a demon killed a man for using it because the number belonged to it. Well, that's, that's pretty concerning, but I'm attributing it to more by faith. Hey, Fritz, everybody's here. Fritz, just do it by faith. Asenath is what I'm trying to drive at. I mean, there's a lot of evil everywhere. You know what I mean? We can't be handcuffed by everything. I mean, we'll give in to analysis paralysis. Then we won't bear no fruit. We won't do anything because this, or that, you do, this evil and that evil, sometimes let's just do it by faith, man. Let's just repeat, like it says here, this book here, Radiance Anthology, it comes with the OAHSPE. This is basically like an angel's diary, it says about itself. If you read the preface, angel messages. You know what I mean? So I hope that I'm not doing any harm by, talking about repeating, these soul affirmations, whether 21 days, whether it's true or not, I really can't know. I just thought that I'd share that in case it is true. I know that it's certainly beneficial to repeat these things. See, we just read it. It says suggestion persistently apply. Suggestion, see where my cursor is? Suggestion persistently applied will produce beneficial results in many cases. And one thing about the soul affirmations, we're trying to train our mind. We got to occupy our mind. You know what I mean? We need to occupy our mind. We need things to think about. In other words, you know what I mean? Down here, it says, recognize and awaken your soul by affirming the living truths of your soul's eternal being. Affirming it. Build your mental habitation upon the foundation of the eternal being. But up here, it says, it talks about trying to find a part where basically it talks about mental affirmation. It says, practicing the truths of your eternal soul nature. Practicing is something you do over and over again. It says, your affirmations of truth fulfill the law of mental suggestion. So, a lot of times the knowledge of evil, the Apocrypha, I think it says, it talks about the knowledge of evil is not always wisdom. The knowledge of evil, and it seems like the knowledge of evil is real popular, so that there ain't no room for the knowledge of what is good. I mean, you can conflate the two and then end up not doing anything, So I appreciate you warning us about rituals and, and I just think that sometimes we give these people too much credit. We end up talking all day about what, this, okay, well, you might not think so, but, I believe that people can get so analysis paralysis that you just stagnate. You don't do anything. Oh no, that's a ritual. You do that, and somebody said this is, this, or I think at some point you got to step out and just go according to your best, highest light. I mean, let me see. You guys are saying things here. I can't really, how discombobulated I get when I try to keep up with the chat. Let me see. Mahal, you said, did he write the Book of Radiance? Actually, the Book of Radiance don't tell you who wrote it. From what I understand, you read the preface. It just says, it mentions somebody was used, because it refers to a he, and then it just gives you angel visitation type of notes. is the best, but it speaks in OAHSPE practical guidebook terms. See, so you know. So let me go on. I wanted to get to the room and go through some verses that I shared and that I posted. So the soul affirmations, I am life. I just to let you guys know where I got it from. Soul affirmations. And it's telling us to affirm it. If you stop the video, you can read this. To affirm it, which means to repeat it, to proclaim it, to use mental suggestion. Creator is telling us to do it. And you have to think that it's one way that we can open ourselves up to a righteous vibration. You know what I mean? Am I making sense to anybody? The sister said, be careful and, look out. And I agree with her. I don't know everything, but I hope I ain't doing no damage, maybe I shouldn't even mention Billy Carson. And maybe I won't from here on out. I think that sometimes these people, they say beneficial things. They're just like the Bible, The Bible, I don't think that it should be thrown away. I think that there's some things in it that are highly profitable. Highly profitable, I think it's profitable for wisdom, a lot of wisdom. The only problem is where it leads you. So right now we getting into, the Radiance anthology is where I found out about soul affirmation and eternal truths and how we should do it and how we're the time. The Creator said that faiths are going to be manifested to the world. And this is, from what I can see, it's a time to grow. We do a lot of learning. And I think the Creator is saying, look, you're going to step it up now, because we need this knowledge so that we can clear the channel so that we can get in touch with how he talks to us. And this is how you do it. And I think a lot of brethren are going to miss out, because not knowing stuff like this. So it's a bombshell to me, the soul affirmations. And I perceive that as I go into the Radiance anthology, there's going to be some more bombs coming out. So much so that we won't be able to keep up, probably. So now it's almost time for the reading of the word. So let me try to go and share some different verses that I've posted in the different rooms. My nose is all stuffed up again. Let's see. So let me see if I can share some things that I've shared in the different rooms. Let's see. Now, here's something I thought was really, really encouraging. Jumping in the middle of the thought there, it says, this was my good creation. See, something, it's like this account here, this post here, we used to live here. Or we're from this. Our people, those who are like us. It says, this was my good creation, the bliss of my chosen. This was my shapely earth in the days of peace, in the times of my chosen. Neither war nor weeping was there, nor hunger, thirst, nor famine, nor fields lying waste, nor sickness, nor evil diseases, nor cursing, swearing, lying, nor deceit, nor hardships and sore toil, nor any evil thing under the sun. He's describing a place that he calls it the place of his the bliss of my chosen. Let me see. Dave says visualizations and affirmations are very beneficial. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly where I'm coming from. I think that the sister's point now, I think what she said is valid, about David being careful about using these guys. Because when you listen to him, you can't hear, he don't testify of the creator. At least the times I've heard him. The brother, he does not testify of the creator. Like you, brethren, would testify of the creator. But he does say some things that I think are a gift that he has. I think that there are a lot of brethren, they got gifts, but they don't give any, they do not, you know what I mean? They don't speak about the creator. So I think yeah, she's right. You do have to be careful about who comes out of your mouth, and then people go check up on them, and then because really I don't know who he's leading a spirit to at the end. He just happened to have said something I agreed with. But you don't know ultimately where these people are getting their inspiration from. The OAHSPE, it talks about if you ask, you pray according to a corrupt motive, you'll get answered by a corrupt entity. So she is right, man. You gotta be careful. Not that nobody's praying to him, but taking things with a grain of salt. What people say, we all got to be careful. So here is a verse I posted, and then Brother Pete, he said, "Oh, for such a time like that comes again to the suffering world." Talking about this verse right here. He says, "The promise is such as in the unfolding of the cosmic era." He says, "But we are about 25. We're about 25 years ago before 2048, 2050. Yeah, the harvest." He says, "Dan arrives, and what may transpire between now and then is the question." Yeah, that's what I'm with you there. Will there be something that happens between now and then? It says, "It is darkest before the dawn, so perhaps it is murkiest and shadowest before Dan. We shall see." Yeah, just because we 2048, 2049, the harvest, we don't know what could be before then. Looking at the situation in the world, I mean, and we got to see the kingdom, don't we, on earth? So we really on borrowed time. I mean, imminently, things could change overnight. Here's something else I posted. It says, "It is better for the spirits that you do not call them back from the higher heavens down to the earth. It is better for you that you remember them high up in paradise. For these thoughts will enable you to rise after you are dead." Here's the importance of your thoughts. The importance of your thoughts will enable you to rise after you are dead. Let me see. So, let me see. All you're saying, I was just saying that what that guy said about 21 vibrations on evil, because in the same way Daniel in the Bible fasted 21 days, was engaged by angel protection. Okay, I can't get into it. It's too detailed. You know how I get discombobulated if I don't keep focused. So anyway, it says that here's another something else I posted, that this is an age of reason. This is an age of reason in which all men should be inspired to read, think, and judge with their own judgment, and not through any priest or church or savior. That the doctrine of a savior is unjust. That no honest man should accept another's dying for him. That's Christianity right there. Here's another verse, that man has a natural right above all things, priests and sacred writings, to serve his creator in his own way. Hear me, oh man, I come every 3,000 years. I newly light up the world. My voice comes upon the souls of men. Your all highest is me. You're all lowest is sin. Two things only I set before you, O man. The self that is myself and the self that is yourself. Which will you serve? For things your resurrection or your hell. In the time of the first of ancients, I asked the same question. Whoever said I will serve you or Mazdi? You all self. He was my chosen. Whoever answered, I will serve the self of myself was Satan's. Man, that sounds harsh, don't it? You know it's true. He said the latter went on the wrong road. Their trail was blood and death. He said war was their glory. See, it's a whole world like that right now. You know, we in a serious, you know, we in a serious situation. I haven't been getting geopolitical with y'all lately. I haven't been getting geopolitical because I want to go in a different direction. Just learning about the soul. I will from, you know, just more is, you know, I plan to spread it out more and more, but not so much as I used to. I'd rather just put more positive vibrations out there. But the situation is pretty dire, man. And I'll just leave it at that. It's a pretty dire situation, man. Let's put it this way. There's ready to be an incredible harvest for Luamong, for Jesus Christ. An incredible harvest, because when they see affliction on a global scale, they run right to church. They run right to church. Here's another verse that says, the all highest in your neighbor, which he manifests, the all highest in your neighbor, which he manifests, perceive and discourse upon that. All else in him, do not see or mention. So don't point out people's faults. I love that, man. You know, that's the world I want to live in, because I got a lot of them. I want to be able to go to my neighbor in Etheria, and I don't have no suspicions, you know. Did he notice that, you know, you know what I mean? You get self-conscious sometimes around people, you know. Etheria, third resurrection, second resurrection, it don't strike me like that, you know. It strike me that these are brethren. They don't look at your faults. They don't, you know, like, you know how the world, first thing, pick out some fault, you know, or remind you, you know, I could say a lot of things. I'll leave it to your imagination what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of times the world people, they say things they don't mean anything, but they say harmful things without meaning it. Sounds like in the second, third resurrection of Theory and Nirvana, these are people, they look the other way, man, you know, at your faults. You know, the all highest in your neighbor, which he manifests, perceive and discourse upon that. So somebody, they think differently, but they say something notable, honorable, just stay with that. You know, don't look at what the faults and, you know, you know what I mean? I love it, man. You got to love it. This is the template of the creator. You can easily see what the template of the creator is, man. Time for the reading of the word. It says, the highest idea, the nearest perfect mind you can conceive of, lest such be your Jehovah, even as in ancient time, which is the ever-present, upon whom you shall set your heart, mind, and soul to love and glorify above all things, forever and ever. Creator challenging you, man. It's like he says, go ahead, see if you can describe me. You know, another place he said, see if you can. I got to translate it. He said, go ahead, see if you can describe what I got for you. See if you can do it. Go ahead, tell me what is the highest. What you tell me what is the highest life? All right. Now, and then all I'm going to say to you is you prepare yourself to live among people like that. You become like them. You become like them. See, this channel ain't for everybody, man. You know, it ain't for, you got to be able to dream, man. You got to be able to believe. I'm sorry, man. You know, this channel ain't for everybody. I wish it was, but you got to believe, man. You know, you got to be, you got to have some, I'm sorry, you got to have something in you. You got to be able to believe this stuff, man. You know, that according to man's good or evil deeds, words, thoughts, and actions while on earth, even so shall he inherit in heaven, light or darkness, joy or happiness. Now we can check ourselves. We can look back and see whether we are about light or darkness. And then we know what our future will be then. You know, what type of effect do I have on my brother? You know, does he walk away cursing my name? Or does the brother say, man, you know, brother, bless my soul? Now the Creator's saying, now you can know what your eternity is. Remember the Paradars. Do y'all remember the Paradars? Boy, that's one that keep me going, man. The Paradars. That beautiful woman, man. That beautiful woman. Y'all remember the Paradars? Or a beautiful man? You know, for the sisters, you know. The Paradars. Your beautiful thoughts in the form of another you. Another you. Paradars, man. Here's something Brother Dave posted. And he was talking to Mahalia or Sharice. Talking to Sharice. So, Sharice, if you see this video, Dave, he was responding to you. Because y'all were talking about the Ethereum goddess, what her name was. Here go Brother Nazarene's verse. While my corporal body sleeps, O Jehovah, help my less encumbered spirit to see the ways of your righteous judgment. Okay, time for the reading of the word. The name of the video is Why Cooperation is Difficult. So let me bring that up. Why cooperation is difficult. Why is it hard to cooperate? And this is a long reading. I don't think I'll be able to get through it because I want to read deliberately now where I don't speed read anymore. I think that I'm under the vibration to do my absolute best, man, to give a good, clear, concise explanation of the things we're looking at, of the things we look at. Don't eat like a pig. Don't eat like the pig, man. You know. Or what does the Bible say? It talks about chewing the cud, man. You know. Chewing the cud, you know, meaning to ruminate on what you read. Don't just eat like the pig. You know, when you read something, chew the cud, man. You know, ruminate on it. Think about it. That's the problem that I was having with the OAHSPE that I'm trying to break out of now. I just started reading it and I just I ain't got no discipline, you know. I just start jumping all over the place because it's just good food, you know. And the creators, like he said, you know, you gotta read, you gotta slow down and really and you know spend a little time. So may the creator bless the reading of his word. This is from the Radiance anthology. And it's called Why Cooperation is Difficult. It says, while it is indeed most difficult for anyone to understand either oneself or another, yet certain laws of our nature are becoming more and more evident and demonstrable. Certain laws of our nature. One thing that every human soul must reckon with is the force of the old habit. Inertia is the cause of the undoing of most of us. You get started, you can't stop. Inertia. Inertia has been defined as the inability to stop what you're doing or the inability to start something new. With such an elastic definition, it is easy to see that every human being suffers to some degree from inertia. This spirit of inertia is often very subtle. It is a sly, crafty, wily, insidious thing characterized by treachery and deceit. It is that which will dig for us the graves of our better, higher selves. It is that something which leaves us content with ourselves as we are. That's pretty heavy words, man. That is so true. You know, you get stuck, you get into normalcy bias where you just stay stagnated and it feels so good. You get so used to it, you don't. Sorry, brethren. You can't progress. You can't progress. You can't elevate. You stagnated. You know, that's what we seeing in the world today. You know, Pluto going into Aquarius. And like I tell you, brethren, all the time, man, that sister told me, I said, what does it mean? What does it mean? She said, brother, people gonna have to move. You're gonna have to move, man. I said, what? Who? Where? She said, I don't know. But now I do know. She was talking about religion. You was gonna have to come up off of that God now. And a lot of people can't do it. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm telling you, brethren, you probably seen it too. And it ain't no joke, man. It ain't no joke, man. A good brother, good friend of mine. And as soon as I told him about what the OAHSPE, what it was about, and I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, man. And I knew my spirit was saying, you're getting ready to lose a friend, right? I said, yep. I said, yep. I said, but I'm gonna wait till the bitter end, man. The bitter end. I ain't gonna bring it out until I absolutely have to. And then he hit me with it. He said, so he was listening to me talk, and then he said, so what do you feel about Jesus Christ? And I said, and I knew in my soul that was it. The time had come, you know. I was gonna have to say goodbye to the brother, or he was gonna say goodbye to me, because you know, So you can guess what happened from there. I told him about I asked him if he was born of a woman. He said, yeah. I said, was he a man? And he then thought I was crazy, because he said, what do you mean, man? He said his mom was married, dad was Joseph. What do you, he couldn't understand. And I said, look, man, I said, the path I'm going down now is anything, man, that is born of a woman, and you sitting down and you praying to that, brother, that's worshiping the deity. That's idolatry right there. That means bondage and captivity when you're born again. And he was gone. He was gone, man. He was gone. And it was painful too. It says, inertia, it is that which will dig for us the graves of our better higher selves. Inertia. You've been a Christian so long, you got all that inertia built up. It'd take a miracle for a brother to become a faithist, and after you've been in the beast kingdom, brother, that's a miracle. To break that vibration, it is that something which leaves us content with ourselves as we are. It is a power that works to undermine our best intentions, to overthrow our loftiest resolutions. It is that poisonous thing which bids us to be content with present wrongs rather than be red-blooded enough to try to right them. See, talking to faithists. Faithists are red-blooded brethren, man. They see the ship. They see the ship ready to crash. They jump the hell off of it. They take action, man. Funny you're saying it right. The next line is saying exactly that. The remedy is action. Act in the living present heart within and God overhead. Every one of us is deceived because listening to something inspiring, we give it mental applause. Ain't that, boy, that's, man, oh man, don't get me started. That's the world we live in. Subjective spiritualists, man, they can speak esoterically, and then the world sit back and say, hey, did you hear what he said? Man, that sound right. I can't really prove it. It sound right, though. It sounds spiritual. I must be special because I can hear what he said. And then he start talking and you can't understand him, and you just keep going because you don't have enough action to jump off the ship. You don't got no discernment, man. You following him. You're deceived, man. Ace and say, speaking with a forked tongue. Yeah. Subjective spiritualists, people who speak esoterically, they know things that you don't. They talk about, and see, boy, I'm telling you, this really hits me good, man. And I hate to say it, but our people, Hebrew Israelites, are good at that, man. Some Hebrew Israelites, they can speak that subjective spiritualism. They just put whatever vibration into something, some event, some learning, and they don't really source it from the creator, and don't even source it from the God they serve. It's just something that come out of their mind, and people, they just receive it. It sound good, and and our turn is coming, and the white man's world is going down, and we're going to be on top, and people listen to that, and they suspend all discernment and don't have enough will or in them to think, well, where does it say that? Why are you saying it? What is, point? What's the source? Where are you getting that from? People, if remember that song, Tell Me Lies? Tell me little sweet lies. I'm telling you, man, we are surrounded by that type of stuff. A faithist can't compete with a subjective spiritualist for their attention. You can't compete. I'm sorry, brother. You can't compete, man. They start spinning the tail, talking about things that sound right. Nothing to really back it up with. People love to hear about, see, and I mentioned Hebrew Israelites because one of the things we love to hear about is get back. How we going to get some get back? Man, that's like a steak dinner. You know what I mean? And it feels so good to hear that. And every one of us is deceived because listening to something inspiring, we give it mental applause, man. Because hearing our ideas voiced, we think we achieve those ideas by giving assent of our minds. We believe because we admire a beautiful character that we are like that character. We imagine that because we cry out in our inmost souls to be greater, therefore we are greater. Nay, it is the other way around. We are not changed by thought alone. To be changed, we must translate our emotions. We must translate our emotions. So, going back to the soul affirmations, by repeating, by using mental confirmations, that's us taking action to change our emotions. To change our that we are using that vibration. I'm going to the next part 2 of the study. We're using that vibration, and the creator, he says that, you know, basically that's us choosing what we want to be. And then he picks up and he said he does. I still just can't get over that. He says I do the labor. You just choose, the creator said. You just choose, man. And then he jumps in and he does the work. Now, this is part 2 of why cooperation is difficult. Why cooperation is difficult. It says promptings into concrete strokes of behavior. It is not, it was saying in the read and before, it says, homie and brother, hey, good to see you, bro. I can't join you in cinnamon tea because I'm drinking Kalundra tea. But with your permission, I'll take a sip. This is Radiance Anthology. Radiance Anthology is a book that comes with the OAHSPE. Let's see if I can see the page number. I can't see the page number. I think it might be 464 or something like that. This is Radiance Anthology. Okay, so it says, it is not as a man thinketh in his heart, though out of the heart are the issues of life. It is as one acts after one his thought in the heart. It would be easy if holding the thought were all there is to it. There is vastly more than that. The thought held must be transmuted through the will into definite acts of conduct. This is why the work of Walter DeVoe deserves to go down in history as a very definitive and conclusive work in the emancipation of human souls from the thraldom of selfish, self-seeking behavior. I don't know who Walter DeVoe is. It says one of the unique contributions of his whole masterful system of teaching is the thing that he reiterates constantly. You must do the will of the creator together. Do the will of the creator together. It is the united effort of combined wills working in unison for the good of humanity that is the most easily demonstrable part of his work. That's what we are doing. Brethren, we are brethren. We're brethren and sisters. We're gathered together of like mind towards a common purpose and end. That is that's the second resurrection. That's the will of the Creator, to add force to the light of the Creator. This is going out in the universe. The force, the will, our will, collective wills. I mean, we by us being together, being with, joining with one another, not just me, but all of us joining together like that, it has an effect. There's some type of effect for ourselves and our world. You must do the will of the Creator together. It is the united effort of combined wills working in unison for the good of humanity. That is the most easily demonstrable part of this work. I want to say something too. It's talking about tribalism. When even like in the OAHSPE, it talks about that too. When even a small group of people band together, they unite together, like those people, like the JEWS do. That's where their power is. They're united. They're tribal. They are united. They're united. And that's where their power comes from. That's what it's saying here. It is the united effort of combined will. So that's one reason why it's so important for us to do the soul affirmations together. I mean, you just can't tell me, man, that is not one of the most powerful forces in the world today by us doing it together. Just to let you brethren know, I do something called soul affirmations at the first half hour of the video, and at the end of the video, the soul affirmations. I am life, I am health, peace, and perfection. I am wisdom. And then there's a little reading after those affirmations. And the affirmation, it don't end there. It could be any other thing that is positive about you or about the Creator dealing with you. Mental affirmations. But to be able to get together like that and do it, that's got some serious force. We don't know how, but that's what we reading. It says, it is a united effort of combined wills working in unison for the good of humanity that is the most easily demonstrable part of his work. He cries out constantly with the modern psychologist, you learn to do by doing. He then sets people to work, people who have not solved their own problems. The quickest way to get out of these problems is to begin to work for others. He says repeatedly, it was this process that he proved true in his own experience. Although weak physically and depressed mentally, he began to prove his doctrine by constant blessing of others. Through this process, he built himself into the strong, dynamic, radiant personality that he is. He shows the way in which he himself has walked. With such a living example constantly before us, why is it that others do not make such marked demonstrations of the success of the method? The answer is inertia. It is easy to look to some saving means outside of oneself. It is far less trouble to read what is sent out in the magazines and books we receive and to give intellectual assent to the glowing sentiments therein than to translate the emotional responses into definite strokes of behavior. And I just keep seeing Christianity in this. Not for every single person. There are some people who are really proactive and trying to get out there and do good. But Christianity, for the most part, is stagnate you. It make you inactive. It make you wait for someone to do something else for you. And that's what, and what we're reading is talking about a man who has proven that when you get up and you go against the inertia, that the real change comes. So in a sense, like, we're doing soul affirmation, and it harmonizes with the OAHSPE. That harmonizes with the OAHSPE. That's how it's like we change. The creator, that's how we change. We change. I have to think that you brethren already know this. I really do have to think most of you brethren, if not all of you, you already know it. I think if anything, I'm just reminding us if we need to be reminded. I know it's kind of all new for me, but it sounds like the creator, he says, go make yourself. And this is how you do it. I think in times past, I've listened to people who talk about power, positive thinking. I remember my brother used to talk to me about it, and I just let it go in one ear and out the other. Now I got to learn that lesson again. There's something to it. The creator, he gives his endorsement to it. The thing that's different with the creator, he's, like we just read, he tells you exactly, okay, this is what you're going to say. This is the effect that it's going to have. This is what I'm going to do to bring this thing to pass. You say you are life. You say you are health, wisdom, and perfection. You are wisdom. You keep repeating that, and don't worry, I'm going to work to bring it to pass, and it's going to manifest in different things like angel wisdom, and we read where it mentioned a couple of other manifestations. I also shared how the creator said that faithists are going to be manifested to the world. See? So we're no different than those star athletes, our entertainers, our people who have worked all their life getting ready for showtime. See? That's why the thought came to me that we may have been given the narrative of Jesus Christ to let us know how we are going to come on the scene. Now, I could be wrong, man, but except for his doctrine, the doctrine of drawing all men to himself, his God was Luamong. I think that's the big difference between the narrative of Jesus Christ and faithists. I think that the Father is showing us how we are going to come on the scene and what we are going to do. Remember, in Jehovah's Kingdom, in the OAHSPE, it said that we were going to make a chair, sing, and dance. Do you, brother, remember that? Do y'all remember that? If somebody wants, you can post it. It's talking about some miraculous stuff that faithists are going to be. These are people who have prepared themselves. He said, it is easier to admire another and pray to be like that person than to get busy with a strong will in one's own life and overcome the weakest point. See, you can stop eating meat. If Yaquab can do it, believe me, anyone can do it. It's inertia. Inertia. The first couple of days may be rough, but with each second, you building up that inertia, and then you're going to hit your stride. You're going to hit your stride, man. Just get the inertia going. Get it. That's what we're reading here. Just get the car moving. Like when you see brothers who are out of gas and they push in the car. The toughest part is just to get it started, and now you got it moving. See? It says, this must be stressed. A violent, uncontrolled temper may spoil the usefulness of an otherwise sweet life. A vicious way of jumping at conclusions may wreck the hopes of an otherwise fine achievement. One cannot attend classes or do a great deal of meditating or studying and think one is arriving at a goal as long as one does not act according to the principles one is trying to master. It is the application of the principles that count. Now, to be very exact, the first thing you must do is to get down to some close analysis of yourself and grub out the roots of bitterness. Grub out the roots of bitterness. Review your life. Find out the people you dislike or that rub you the wrong way. Learn wherein yourself are falling down in the application of your philosophy or teaching. Man, that's a good one right there. That boy, oh boy, that's a good one. That's a good one. Judge yourself, man. Examine yourself. Examine yourself, man. Examine yourself. And study to see wherein you need to strengthen your faith or your love. Find out the exact and specific instances and then begin to practice on those as though you would receive a certified check of $100,000 the moment you have. Let me go to part 3. $100,000 the moment that you have. So let me get back to go to number 3. Let's see. I'm give me a moment, brethren, so I can bring up the third part. As if you would receive a check of 100. Attack your weaknesses is what it's saying. As if you were to receive a check of $100,000. Okay. So that's where we left off. Let me fix this screen here so we can read the third part and final part. Talking about action, man. We all know this. If anything, we just need to be reminded. And I think that the Creator is showing us this is why it's important, because he talks about manifesting faithfulness to the world, and we need to be prepared to do it. And that dealing with, it's like the preparation is purifying of our soul, because the Creator, that's how we get spoken to. Something to think of here, something to work out of. Remember, you are working for an eternal reward. For as we sow here, we shall reap there. This gives the whole struggle a new and vital significance. Think about that. Something to work for. We got to remember that, man. We got to remember you are working for an eternal reward. You are working for eternal reward. For as we sow here, we shall reap there. This gives the whole struggle a new and vital significance. You are building a permanent, brethren, soul power. Soul power. And that's something. You begin to practice the holding of affirmations or the making of dynamic statements, not when you are off alone, but in the very face of the conditions that worry you the most. So the trial comes and you start affirming your soul. Well, it sounds like it's saying, you start repeating the eternal truths. I am life. I am health, peace, and perfection. I am wisdom. You start the trials, they come, the vibration, here come the tetracts, here come the tetracts. You repeat the eternal truths. He says you begin to practice the holding of affirmations or the making of dynamic statements, not when you're alone, but when you're in the battle, in the very face of the condition that worries you the most. Good practical here, telling us how we put the eternal truths into action. How you do it. This is how you do it right here. Here comes the situation. Here comes the person. Bring the eternal truths to your mind, and that's how we that's how we do battle with the situation. The situation, man, it says to illustrate, suppose you have a vexatious friend or member of your family. Practice the affirmations on them until there's nothing left in your own basic nature to be riled, upset, or annoyed by such an individual. The battle is won by the strong. We become strong by this very practical and efficient method. It is well to remark in passing that it is wise to stay away from some people until one does not feel able to meet the situation, but one never grows strong by continually running away from situations. And the strength of your own vital, dynamic, divine nature is the remedy. Man, oh man, oh man. We got to fight. We have to fight. The creators say you got to stand in there and fight. Don't run. We got to fight, man. Wow, man. We got to do it. We got to do it, man. We are gods potentially. The difference is that some of us lie down on the job. Others keep pegging away until they gain the victory. Which are you, a slacker or a pegger? Because we have been slackers, it is easy to fail. When we become peggers, it will be easier to cooperate. Pegger, plugger, you plug away at it, plug away. Remember the little train that could, when there are enough of the latter kind that overcome the peggers, they chip at it, one chip at a time. See, when there are enough of the latter kind that overcome, we shall be rewarded by seeing great and mighty things in our midst. Eventually, the coming of the kingdom. Coming of the kingdom. And that time that prophets and poets have sung of, when there shall be peace and goodwill manifest everywhere. That sounded to me like when evil don't have no place to go, that's the kingdom of God. When it gives up, it look for a place to inhabit. It look for a brother or sister to come and rest and, live off of the energy we give it. Your anger, they feed off of it. But when they ain't got no place to go, nowhere in the world, that sounds like the kingdom of God to me. It ain't got no place to go. It ain't, that energy don't go out nowhere. No, ain't nobody feeding it no more. We're not giving it no energy. That's how we kill it. You kill it, man. Therefore, stop right where you are, right about face. Get busy at the job of mental control by keeping the affirmations singing to your conscious every minute while you're awake. Focus your energy and affirmations toward the thing in person that troubles you the most. The result, the inertia will be overcome. You'll put a stop to that force coming against you, vexing you. You will find your whole basic nature changing. While there was a sigh of sadness, there will be a song of joy. Where there was weakness, there will be strength. And the mighty strong will, one who overcomes. The overcoming of inertia means the conquering of shortcomings in specific instances. This is the way, walk ye therein. And that will conclude the reading of this word. Man, a lot of good stuff there. The name of the video was called Why Cooperation is Difficult. Basically, the inertia, the force, always the habit. It just keeps you moving. So I'm gonna put the link in the room and see if anybody wants to come and come and share anything. So that was a lot. That was a lot, man. That was a lot. That was Radiance Anthology. I don't know what page that was. There's a link if anyone wants to come in. So the thing that strikes me is, I guess the inertia part was really, the inertia part. I think that a lot of it is attributed to how religion has put us at ease for so long, where we relied on another to do our work for us. And for those of us who are coming out of that laziness, that slack, type of mind, and just beginning on that journey of reversing inertia, it seems like that's a good message. That was an excellent message for us. I'm telling you, man, the creator, man, he says, go make yourself. Go make yourself. And the thing that strikes me is the weakness of the ability the weakness of the message. It's both powerful, but it's weak, man. That's why I wanted to talk and refer to you, brethren, about the story of like famous people. I love to try to share that with y'all because people look at them now and they admire them. They wish that they were them. But those people, man, they worked for it. I remember a friend I had. I remember a friend, man. He said, matter of fact, he knew somebody famous, right? Out in Oakland. There's a guy named Jason Kidd. For those of you who know about sports, he's the coach of the Dallas Mavericks now. And this friend I had, he knew him. They played on teams together. And we were talking about him one time. And he said, yeah, man. He said on the playground, he said, he's come out and he was the youngest one. He was younger than the rest of us. And he would get his shot blocked. And, and he said, but you would just block his shot one way. And then he would just come back another, And it's the same. It's like he showed a willingness, number one, not to give up. He knew he was going to bear fruit. He knew enough at that young age to keep coming. If this way don't work, I remember what Brother Omi, and I was looking at one of his videos, and my room, it was really depressing me because I just opened it. I didn't know that many faithists don't respond. we're not really good at responding and being lively. And I don't want to sound harsh, man, but I'm telling the truth. You know, there are 400 in one room, 200 plus in another room, and it's the same people all the time that respond to the efforts of only a few to share. The response is not good. I think that maybe brethren are tired and, you know, they're comfortable now and don't realize the importance of recompensing. I hope that I never get that way personally, where, you know, I fear that I may get that way, to be honest. I pray, it's my consistent prayer that the Creator, He teach me, if I have to just go alone. You go alone, man. You know, you have to learn, find strength within yourself. But to be honest, since coming into the knowledge of the faithism and the lack of response that brethren do, it nearly broke me at first. Like, man, you know, what good am I? I ain't doing no good. You know, you might as well just read on your own and just, you know, let your peace come back to you and just keep walking on your own. Just stay to yourself. And that was my mind, because brethren ain't good at recompensing. Ain't good, you know. Now, I don't, again, man, I don't want to be harsh. I don't want to be vulgar. But I'm telling the truth, and it's a terrible shame. But I guess even that is a test as well. A test to endure, to have patience, to have empathy for brethren, and just keep going and try to find a way, keep coming back, try to find a way that will light brethren's fire. Light the fire is the lesson that the Creator seems to be sharing with me. So, what a life lesson. A lesson, man, you know, at some point, who knows? The future will be here. And it's always a shame, because it's a shame in the sense that a lot of times it's like the world learns too late. But the brother, he would get rejected. He would come back another way. He didn't quit. And then the people we see that are put in front of our face, who are supposedly, quote unquote, successful, they're able to practice, you know, nobody looking. They got it in them. They keep going, and then they win the kingdom. And then that's when brethren want to all of a sudden now, you know, so we got the opportunity now is, you know, my only, we got the opportunity now to make ourselves. So now it's time for the soul affirmations, because I'm ready to close the video. So let's do the soul affirmations one more time. Do the soul affirmations, and we can end the video. So let me bring it up. Oh, let's do it together. You know, like the message talked about. When we do things together, then we add force to our efforts. Okay, here it is. So let's say this 3 times together on 3, the soul affirmations. 3 times together on 3. And then I can close the video. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I am life, because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection, because my true I, the real self, is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am the wisdom of the all mind, because my soul is an intelligent organism, vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness Again, I am life because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection because my true I, the real self, is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am the wisdom of the all mind because my soul is an intelligent organism, vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness. One more time. I am life because my soul is a form of eternal life. I am health, peace, and perfection because of my true I. The real self is potentially the health, peace, and perfection of the I am. I am the wisdom of the all mind because my soul is an intelligent organism, vibrant with delight of the infinite consciousness. All right. And with that, Creator, Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity to meet with my brethren, for us to learn about the soul affirmations. Please bring these things to fruit in our soul, our spirit, so that we can learn to listen to the inspiration that you work through, so that we may be ready, we may be prepared for the time when you decide to manifest us to the world, to go about and to bring the light and the kingdom of God into the world. So I ask that you cover us with wisdom, with love, with knowledge, with peace, with endurance, and that not only do we affirm our souls by what we read, but that we make up new ways every day to affirm our souls. Creator, cover us with grace and mercy, please. The weekend is getting ready to come, and it's the time when it does the most damage to people. And so I pray for our protection. Pray that you be with us. Brethren, thank you for joining me. Until Monday, Creator willing, I will see you, brother, later. Till then, peace be unto you. Shalom.